Hello, we are Craig and Janice, and welcome back to Cruising Off Duty, where you know we have our sailboat based in Kingston, and we spend most of our weekends and long weekends going around the beautiful area of the Thousand Islands. There's just so much to explore here, so if you're interested in that kind of area, our channel is for you, so go back and check out those old episodes. But every summer, we do a longer pilgrimage around Lake Ontario, and this episode is the third part in this series. This is my marine navigational chart, and you can see I've put little orange anchor symbols at every possible spot. Criteria for these spots would be it has to be somewhat populated, so when we get there and we go to shore, there's something to explore. And we'll tell you whether it's somewhere you can provision by just walking from your boat to a grocery store or whatnot, or if you got to take a scooter, my EUC, a folding bike, or some other way to get around. That might be important because if you're a boater and you don't have a folding bike or whatnot, you're really kind of hamstrung into only going to what you can walk to, which is really limiting. So highly suggest you get a folding bike at least. Now, like I said, this is the third episode in the series. In previous episodes, we went through the Inter Passage through the Murray Canal, and that just avoids you going out into Lake Ontario and getting pounded by potentially those westerly winds, creating huge waves. And we did luckily have a storm while we were on the Inter Passage, which was nasty, and you see that in a previous episode. And we are very glad we were not out in Lake Ontario when this hit. Now, the weather forecasts for squalls are notoriously bad. It could just call for some rain with light winds and you get a total massive storm. So we do the Inter Passage whenever possible to get west, and we also make sure that there's ports that we can jump into to get out of the storm if we see something approaching on the radar. And this inner harbor you're seeing is Cobourg, which is where the last episode left off. We love this place. We hit Cobourg every single time, mostly because there's nothing else nearby that's good, but another reason is when you pull inside here, there's actually an anchorage. You don't necessarily need to pay for a slip in the town of Cobourg. And then if you got a dinghy or a kayak, you can go to shore and shop and do whatever else you want. That's where we left off. And the next episode is going to show us going from Cobourg to the next big inner harbor, which is Whitby, getting close to Toronto.
Okay, we just left Cobourg. Kind of forgot to film it as we unanchored and left. But you see the white lighthouse there. Another bleak, not so great looking day. We are again motor sailing with our Genoa out, doing a little over 6 knots. Should be about 7 hours to get to Whitby.
Hello and welcome to Cruising Off Duty. I'm just going to show you how we've been motor sailing across Lake Ontario on this trip. I'm going to put this at the beginning of all the episodes, even though we're right now partway through. We're on a sail track almost at Whitby in Lake Ontario. I just wanted to say, you're going to see this is never being used, and that's the reason is A, we needed to motor to cover a lot more distance, and B, this thing is foobarred. This thing is actually wound in crooked. The sail came down when we were sailing one day, it got wound in crooked, now it's jammed. I would never suggest anybody get an in-mast furling sail. You can also see it's kind of worn out, we need to get a new one, so when we finally get this fixed, we're going to get a new sail. But that's why you only ever see us using our Genoa when we're motor sailing across Lake Ontario. When the Bay of Quinte was very narrow anyway, so we would have motored almost the entire way anyway. Throw this just up to get a little bit extra speed. But now that we're in Lake Ontario, we can't use the excuse that the water is too narrow to sail properly. So and I know that would come up in the comments, why you're not using your main. That is the reason. So back to the rest of the episode.
Well, as you can see, the wind stiffened up nicely. Cleared up a bit, but there was some rain in the forecast. So we were kind of like, let's just get there. And there were times where we just turned the engine off because as you can see from the heeling and the splashing, we were actually sailing quite quick just on the Genoa alone. But sometimes when you look at the radar and you see dark, ominous stuff coming your way, you sometimes feel like, man, let's throw the engine on just to get that extra couple of knots so that we can get to a protected harbor before some nasty squall. I think we still had PTSD from the storm we got slammed with when we were just getting to Belleville. Okay, as you can see, the weather sort of changed to be this kind of ominous looking rain anytime kind of weather, which we all experience in summer. It's nice, then it's not very quickly. So we're pulling into the Whitby Inner Harbor, and Whitby's a really nice area. You should definitely stop here if you're going by. If you don't have a membership at a yacht club, you can anchor over on the left here. And we were coming in and we saw this police boat helping some stranded motorboater. And we assumed since they weren't moving much, we were going to pass on the left. And then all of a sudden, put on the brakes. No, that's fine. You go ahead. So like I said, over on the left, you can anchor there. And the yacht clubs, there's 2 different yacht clubs. One's a yacht club and the other one I think is a marina further in. So we were going to the yacht club on the left, which we get a reciprocal, I think 1 or 2 nights free when you're a member of another yacht club on Lake Ontario. So just call ahead, tell them you're coming in and ask if you can get a slip. And assuming somebody is out for the weekend or whatever, and they know there's a vacant slip, they will give it to you. The only thing is you don't exactly know the lay of the land where the slip is. So they kind of explain where to go. And they said they'd meet us at the end of the dock, which of course they do. This is the gentleman from the club that's meeting us. But yeah, we're a 12-foot wide boat. And as I'm pulling in, I'm like, are we sure this is 12 feet wide? I was like, I don't want to scratch this guy's boat. And tight fit. Bumpers banging. But yeah, we made it in barely. But yeah, I'm happy to have a free slip. But sometimes you just get there when you have a wide boat and think, have they done the math correctly? Do they realize how wide we are with fenders? Probably like 13 feet wide with our fenders. Okay, we just finished crossing from Cobourg to Whitby on Lake Ontario. You can probably hear everything smashing and bashing in the background. You know, blustery, not a beautifully sunny day, kind of foggy, but we're here, we're safe, we're sound. We're in a slip that like barely fits our boat, but this poor guy, if he comes to his boat, he's gonna be like, how did you shoehorn your way into this thing? But hey, reciprocal slip for free. Thank you, Whitby Yacht Club. Okay, there's Lake Ontario. We just crossed Lake Ontario from Cobourg to Whitby. That's where we are now. As we are Collins Bay Yacht Club, we have a reciprocal with Whitby Yacht Club. So we got a free night here. Some of them give you 2 free nights. I'm not sure about here. We don't need it because we're going to go to Toronto. Well, actually Scarborough next, which is right beside Toronto. There's Janice getting off the boat over there. See her with the helmet and all that. She's going to go riding on the scooter. But we're going to go to Ashbridge Bay in Scarborough for a 1 or 2 nights, not sure. And then after that, Toronto for Canada Day. So there's Janice bringing her scooter. She's going to go provision hunting. We need some things. So I'm going to do some work on the computer, and she's going to go provision. We know we've been here 2 years ago at Whitby, just over there where you see those buildings. That there's a bunch of malls, grocery stores, whatnot, everything you could ever want. So Whitby is a great spot to re-provision. Okay, Janice is going to do our provisioning. She got her little insulated backpack on her Apollo scooter. We've done this spot before, Whitby, 2 years ago. I don't know if I even made an episode about it, but we know there's lots of provisioning in stores. So what are we out of? Oat milk?
Oat milk.
That's it.
And we've run into a few things that we don't have, like oil to fry in.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're using the expensive butter.
Things like that.
Expensive fake butter. All right, have a good trip. I've got a hyperlapse camera going too, so we'll get to see what it looks like when she flies through town. Have fun. Bye. So Whitby is kind of the outskirts of Toronto, kind of like a bedroom community of Toronto. So there's the normal big box stores, big grocery stores, the Costco's and whatnot. If you've got a scooter or something else, then you definitely have your choice of places to re-provision, which of course every boater is always out of something. But if you don't have a scooter and you're going walking distance, this club to this grocery store that she's heading to is probably walking distance, but it would be a pretty healthy walk. And I'll show you her hyperlapse back. There is something interesting at the end of this, but you can see there's a lot of little stores and banks and whatever you want to do. And that's just a tip of the iceberg of what's around here. But I wanted to show you that when you're on a scooter like this, you can motor along pretty quick, like the speed of a slow moving car. And then she gets here to the gate. And of course, there's no way to get through the driving gate with just a scooter. So she went over to the pedestrian gate, got through that. Okay. That's paid for the first little bit. But if you've ever ridden a bike and you're on gravel and you pull the front brake, this is what happens. Wipe out. She said the car in front slammed its brakes and she didn't have time to react. Unfortunately, she forgot I have the camera on the front with footage and I slowed it down to normal speed and no, the car didn't slam the brakes. So this is Whitby Yacht Club where we got a free reciprocal slip. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Whitby Yacht Club. And there's so much haze. Look at the sun. Not sure what the haze is from. Is it from the wildfires?
Said weather quality very
poor, which
so
makes me think it's the wildfires.
Must be.
Right? It's not smog. Canada doesn't have smog like this.
Luckily, Craig and I don't have any lung sensitivity issues. But
we know some people who do have lung issues and they're very susceptible to any little like impurities in the air. But yeah, it's really nice. There's another marina back there over a city marina over there. This is a yacht club. So if you are a member of a yacht club locally, you can get a reciprocal slip for 1 night or 2. Do you know?
Not sure.
Not sure. Well, we got 1 night anyway. Now, just get the sun to be brighter. That would be
trying
nice.
To be sunny. It's better than the last few days we've had.
I know, we've had nothing but rain. Crazy. Janice got the code. We got the code.
I'm
so
in.
We can get in. There's a restaurant in here and a public washroom and all that stuff.
Happening though.
I don't know if I should film inside. People get a little antsy when you're filming them. So anyways, just thought I'd let you know there are facilities. There are look at this. Free barbecues. Nice. Okay, we just came upstairs in this big, beautiful clubhouse. They have a bar up here, and it's race night. They said after race night, everybody will come back. You have beautiful windows to see your boat. And there's a deck out there that we're going to check out now. But yeah, this is an amazing looking club. Like it. If we lived in this area, this would be definitely something we would consider joining. Okay, this is the outside deck that we were talking about. Beautiful. Umbrellas for the shade. And I said to Janice, this is probably somewhere you got a nice bird's eye view of her just doing a face plant in the gravel over there. That's funny. Don't worry. She was fine. She was fine. Little scrape on the shin. We love to razz each other. If I'd wiped out and then claimed that the car was the reason and then you saw the footage, you know, she would razz me too. So it's just funny. But I just wanted to say, because we're leaving Whitby, that we met a ton of people there. When we got in outside on the deck, somebody recognized us from the channel. They came out and said hi. Then all their friends came out. Then we all sat around at tables and shot the breeze for a while and had a really good time. So every time we've been to Whitby, the people there are super accommodating and friendly. If they see a new face, they'll say hi, where are you from? So yeah, if you're not from the area and you're passing through, definitely stop in Whitby, because you'll really enjoy not only the facilities, but the people that are there. Like I said, if I was in the area, that would be my club. Now the next club we're going to is also very nice, even swankier. It's in Scarborough. Ashbridge's Bay, I think is called, from memory. Very nice. And as you get closer to Toronto, it gets more and more expensive. So keep that in mind. If you're halfway between the two and you have to pick between Whitby and Scarborough, you're probably going to be cheaper to go to Whitby. But, you know, then again, if you live in Toronto, you're not going to drive all the way to Whitby. So you don't have much of a choice then. So there we go. And as for this footage, look at that blue sky. There's actually blue sky. What is going on? This was the summer of the wildfires. So there was always this smoggy haze. And then we also just seemed to be getting pounded day after day with some big rainstorm, seemed like every day. So it was kind of nice to see actual shadows from the sun, which was so weird. That summer was weird. This is about 6-7 months later, and the fires are over. The skies in Canada are clear. We have great, clear, perfect air quality really in Canada. So it was so weird to see that smoggy look all the time. You might be wondering, what is Jen? Are we anchoring? What's with the bucket? No idea. I'm assuming that we had a dirty cockpit. And Janice, instead of trying to sweep it up and pick it up, we figured just get a bucket and rinse it down. And everything goes down the scuppers and feed the fish. Our chip crumbs can go to the fish. I'm just guessing that was what it was. So this is it. I'll put a little Instagram post I did back then at the end. But I just want to say right now, if you want to show the channel some love, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Again, the whole series is going to be called something around Circling Lake Ontario. So if you want to catch it from the beginning, if you're catching one of these episodes later, then that's the playlist you should look for. And stay tuned to our next episode where we will showcase Scarborough and then Toronto after that. And we saw so many different things in Toronto. There's so much to do there. So look forward to that. And that's it. Till next time, this is Craig signing off, wishing you safe cruising. What is this thing? It's a sun. Haven't seen that in so long. We are motoring, of course, across Lake Ontario from Whitby. We're going to end up in Scarborough at Ashbridge Bay for a single night reciprocal. Obviously, as you can tell, the wind dead on the nose. Could we sail? Sure, we could sail way out in the Lake Ontario and then tack way back, but we got a promise to be there by 3:30, so we're trying to make hay while the wind is blowing, if that makes any sense, which it doesn't. Anyways, beautiful day, finally sunny. Just thought I'd show you what it looks like.